yards passing this year.
Yeah, it's interesting, the discourse around him as Dave Dickinson, his head coach, says that he has some regrets about the game against Montreal earlier on in the season. Just wants his guys to go out and start making plays in order to get in the playoff picture. And for Jason Moss on the other side, not a ton of success in his career at this locale, McMahon Stadium. We'll see if he can turn that around today as David Cote sends it away, and we are underway with a Saturday doubleheader. CFL on TSN. And out to the 38-yard line. It's Bryce Notary making the tackle as we get to see Mr. Jake Maier at home.
Yeah, he's 500-1-1 against Montreal this year, 4-9. But as I mentioned, he's second in the league in passing behind Zach Collaros in Winnipeg at over 3,000 yards at this point in the season, and on pace for over 4,500 yards, very close to passing John Hufnagel, his boss here in Calgary.
See if he can get there today. Also pass Kevin Glenn if he gets more than 21 yards in this ball game. Might get that on the first play. Let's see. As Maier will begin with an inside run, slashing right down the hatches goes Kadeem Carey, and off to a nice start for 35.
Yeah, they get both Kadeem Carey and Dedrick Mills on the roster here this afternoon, so we'll see a little bit of both. But Kadeem Carey is coming off a game where he was more like himself. They're off the bye week, so they're fresh and have fresh legs. And Calgary Stampeders, big game for both of these teams, but Calgary Stampeders have a chance to close the gap on Saskatchewan for third in the West.
For Carey, just his 48th carry of the season, battling injuries throughout, still looking for his first touchdown of 2023. Hard to imagine here in week 16. As Maier gets it out quickly, it's completed. That's Trey Dukes making the grab in front of the Montreal sideline as we get a look at the Stampeders starting offense.
Sean McEwen is the leader of that group up front. Second game in a row. Again, the bye week in between, but second game in a row, that unit stays intact. And one receiver change, no Markeith Ambles. He's been released by the team. Trey Dukes is back in the lineup after missing 3 games due to injury.
Good to see Dukes back in the lineup. He makes a grab for 7 yards. Great, 2nd and 3. 3 down linemen, including Sean Lemon, trying to get after Maier. A little underneath throw, completes. That'll be good enough for the first down. And that is Reggie Begelton making his first catch of the afternoon as he goes against this Alouettes defense.
Yeah, leader up there is Sean Lemon. Not surprised. We've said that many times, many different teams for Mr. Lemon. 5 sacks in the campaign for him. One of the candidates, I believe, for standing player, defensive player in the league is Tyrese Beverett, but Darnell Sankey will play in the middle, coming back from former Saskatchewan Rough Rider and Calgary Stampeder. And there's a guy having an all-star season at safety, Marc-Antoine Dubois. Maybe the best in the league right now. 41 tackles, second to Beverett.
Maier keeps it here on the play fake, gets it out to Markin Michel. He makes the grab. Now he needs just one more to have 100 career catches as he gets 11 on this play.
Calgary looks sharp out of the gate. You know, this is series number 1, and as I mentioned, Jake Maier putting up some real good numbers over the last 3 weeks, and they've been close. But one thing that I think Calgary fans should remember, the Toronto Argonauts, who will play after us, have just 1 loss in the campaign. That was to Calgary. They're capable of beating the best. Just have to finish.
With a pair of York products to the bottom of your screen, Colton Hunchak and Luther Hakanavanu in the lineup here today. As Maier against just a 3-man rush, looks underneath, checks it down once again to Begelton. And a solid gain on first down. It'll go for about 4 yards as Reggie Begelton leading the league. 65 catches coming in. 65
catches. Should, if he has a good game today, and no reason to think he won't, he'll be at that 1,000-yard mark very quickly.
Anyone to get there. We'll see if he does. Pressure coming from the boundary here. Hard count from Maier.
Real good.
And now they're going to wait this one out as Noel Thorpe, defensive coordinator for the Owls, was lining up a Wesley Sutton blitz off that short side.
You love that. The quarterbacks love that. A hard count is a weapon. You know, you can come up and use that to your advantage, getting the defense jumpy up front, especially when you might see blitz.
Yep.
Walking to the line as a quarterback, you see them creeping up and looking like they may blitz. Give them that hard count because the DBs and linebackers are dying to blitz. They want to get after the quarterback.
The voice inflection of Jake Maier that time.
Offside, Montreal number 94. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still going to be second down.
There you go. You can hear the cadence. It's that last one that gets you, Suits.
Yeah.
The hut is fine, but it's the hut.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little movement there from Kadeem Carey, too, just to add to the hard count. Well executed.
And on second and Tommy Stevens, in comes the wrecking ball. Backup quarterback, 6'5", 257 out of Penn State. Plunges straight ahead. All business here for the Stampeders early on.
Yeah, he's my #1 draft pick in the short yardage quarterback department. I'm taking Tommy Stevens first round. He's got 30 rushes. That's number 31. And most of them, almost all of them, short yardage plays. He's got a 4-yard average.
Yeah, pretty good.
So usually you're trying to get 1 short yardage. He's getting 4.
He's done an excellent job jumping from the 3rd to the 2nd string this season. Bo Levi Mitchell off to Hamilton. Mayer assuming the starting job. 4 and 9, all 13 games started for Mayer this season. He's got a fresh set of downs. 7th play of the drive here. Gets it out once again. They go back to that Trey Odoms-Duke's little out route into the boundary. Complete.
Well, I tell you what, that Jake Mayer looks sharp. I mean, his footwork, his delivery, his recognition. I know it's just Series 1, but looks really sharp out of the gate here.
Creates 2nd and 7 here for the Stampeders. Is 2nd and 7 plus. They've struggled this year, converting just 31% of the time. That's last in the CFL. See if they can get it here against a pressure look. Everybody's standing up for the Alouettes. +1 pressure. Tries to get it out underneath. And in his return to McMahon, it's his 2nd interception of the season. Sean Lemon.
I jinxed him. I jinxed Jake. Looks sharp out of the gate until this.
Lemon drops. Not a sack, an INT.
Coming off the edge, and that's what fools Jake Mayer, puts the pressure on him. It's not a pass rush really from Sean Lemon. He's just going to engage at the line of scrimmage, drop back. The pressure from Stubblefield forces the quick decision, quick throw, and it was the wrong one.
Everybody standing up on that D-line as well, Suits. A bit of a different look from Montreal with their blitz package. It gets the football here for Cody Fajardo. And William Stanback back in the lineup. Owls begin with a run just like Calgary did on their first possession. And Fajardo looking to find a little bit of rhythm here early on.
TD passes in the last 3 games, and their last loss, 30 completions for Cody Fajardo, so he is slinging it from back there in the pocket. This team has given up 50 sacks this year. That's an issue, but a little bit of a run game here this afternoon can help.
Again with an extra blocker in the formation. Tyler Sneed motioning back and forth. Fajardo will throw underneath. It's complete. Back in his old stomping grounds, and a little run across the 55. Tyson Philpott goes and finds some yards after the catch.
Coming off a career-high game versus Toronto, Tyson Philpott back home, back where he played his college ball, back on a familiar field, and showing how comfortable he is in his first target. Little crossing route, turns the corner, nice move here to break that tackle. 24-yard gain for Philpott.
24 big ones to move it across midfield. Easy money for Fajardo that time. Here on first down, he'll hand it off to Stanback again. Hard charging into the middle of that defense as we get a look at the full starting offense.
Yeah, there's the guy that'll be calling those stunts up front, cut down those sacks allowed. That's Justin Lawrence, the 5-year veteran out of the University of Alberta at center. Leading receiver in the league is Austin Mack, but I also highlighted Tyson Philpott coming back home.
Yeah. See Anthony Calvillo up in the booth. Over to Jason Moss here, crafting the offense for Montreal. On 2nd and 6, Fajardo. Quick throw inside, and he was looking for Mack. That's his 100th target of the season. I asked Moss how many snaps it would take. Kind of giggled, said, yeah, pretty early on, we're going to get him his 100th target.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I mean, The top guys in the league and can do it all. Can get up over top and blow the top off the coverage. Great route runner. That ball just a little bit behind him, and Moxie played it well. Jonathan Moxie at corner there.
Swiss Army knife of this Calgary defense as they've battled some injuries. Got from nickel linebacker to free safety over to boundary corners. Joseph Sema comes out to send this one away. Leads the CFL in net punting. This one goes for 42 yards, and Notri gets his second special teams tackle of the afternoon already. As 44, Notri all over it. The interception early on from Jake Mayer. Final playoff berth, but strong finishers. Look at this here suits Calgary, the way they've played in the backstretch of season since 2015.
Yeah, and you know, on the line here in this one this afternoon, and not just this game, but making the playoffs again. Dave Dickinson has been over 500 for as long as I can remember. 17-year streak in the playoffs in jeopardy.
Handed off here as it goes to Kadeem Carey. Cuts his way across the 20-yard line. Darnell Sankey up there in the fray, as you'll expect to see against this running game all afternoon long for a gain of 7.
What a great jump cut and bounce to the outside. When nothing at the point of attack is there, just make it up as you go along. That's what Carey does. Look at this jump cut, bounces outside and gets into the secondary. Nice looking run. And I mentioned the game they won against Toronto, the Argos' only loss of the season. Great balanced attack in that game, both run and pass.
There on 2nd and 3, little stretch run outside. Carey gets skinny, gets through the hole, and gets some more yards up to the 35-yard line for a gain of 14.
William Longleg gets involved. They're bringing in the fullback to get this run game even going. Plays the tight end, has the kick out block. There's the second level block on the left side by Brandon Weldon. And look at the opening for Carey to get into the secondary for the second straight run.
Chunk that time for Kadeem Carey, almost his season long. It's 19, the limited number of carries he's been able to play this year. Now they'll empty it out. Calgary will 3 by 3. Just a 3-man rush. Mayer, lots of time underneath Markin Michel. He makes the grab, and it looks as though it would be right at the sticks. That's his 100th career catch in the CFL.
Take a look at some nice route running here from Markin Michel. He's working on Wesley Sutton, and now he's got to get inside leverage, so he's going to just sit down and then shoot across the middle.
There will be just shy of the stick, so Tommy Stevens comes out. A little bit extra weight up front as well. The fullback Longleg that you circled there suits back on the field here. Will tighten down to his tight end spot. 2nd and a yard. Stevens, not quite that 3.9-yard average, but that'll do.
Enough to move the chains. Yep. That's the goal. Mission accomplished for 15 on that play.
Calgary Stampeders offense, a fresh set of downs, as they've done a good job protecting Jake Mayer throughout the season, despite some of the struggles they've had up and down. Just 24 sacks allowed for this offensive line. Second to the Toronto Argonauts that you mentioned, the only loss that the Argos have, but Toronto is 12 sacks better. Just crazy what they've done keeping Chad Kelly clean. As Mills is checked into the ball game here, giving Kadeem Carey a break. They'll fake the stretch, zip it back the other side, and no, it looks like immediately it's Ruffin and Marc-Antoine Dequoy. There's your guy making the play for a loss of 3.
Well, that's what he does. I mean, it's not just play in the middle. He has 3 interceptions, but Dequoy also loves to get his nose dirty and get up there and make these tackles. Second on the team to Beverett coming in on defense. But that was a couple of the DBs rallying to it. Deontay Ruffin, the former Calgary Stampeder there. But I just think Marc-Antoine Dequoy is putting together an all-star season.
There with the pressure look, they bail out, drop into zone. Now he has to get rid of it, and he won't. He goes down deep in the backfield. It's Lawal Uguak right there alongside Avery Williams.
Antoine Dequoy is going to get the assist on this tackle in the backfield. He's going to walk up here, and this is Markin Michel trying to go down the field and get that seam route or the skinny post in the middle, and he's just going to pick him up, stay inside position right there, and close that window for Jake Mayer.
Cody Grace gets it away, gets hit as well, and the flag will come out as 3 different Alouettes. Looked like they ran through Calgary's punter. He's back up onto his feet. There is an Alouette down. Looks like Jesurin Antwi. An 81-yard kick. Then after blasting the rock downfield, Cody Grace got run into. He's a big dude. He can absorb it, but that's going to cost the Alouettes.
Well, if it's roughing the kicker, it's automatic first down. So if it's contacting the kicker, it's automatic first down. If it's roughing the kicker, it is not automatic. It's a penalty, but they were beyond 15 yards. It was see what they call.
Ben Major is the lead official here. They are moving the football forward as expected, but it is only to the Calgary 50. Difference there being kicking leg versus plant leg in terms of what matters and the severity of the penalty here.
Well, the special teams unit for
contacting the kicker.
There you go.
Montreal number 20. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's still going to be third down.
I would say that Montreal catches a break there. I mean, that could easily have been roughing the kicker. Pretty good contact. It wasn't, and it was the plant leg issue, as you mentioned, plant leg versus kicking leg. But a 10-yard penalty, the Stamps were beyond 3rd and 15, so don't get the ball back.
And that's one where the failed screen and the sack really hurt you if you're Calgary, because you could have had yourself a fresh set of downs. Regardless, after an 81-yard kick, Grace will send this one down. It drops to Chandler Worthy. And he goes backwards on the return. Great coverage down the field that time from the Stampeders. Bailey Devine Scott, the global from Australia, makes the play on specials. Fajardo and the Owls when we were. Make sure that he didn't have the season sweep against the top team in the East Division, and it started out slowly, fought his way back in. All the momentum towards the Alouettes in the end of the 3rd, start of the 4th, and then disaster struck at the wrong time.
Yeah, pressure off the edge, got the hit, and the ball flutters. Intercepted. 4th loss.
Bootleg here all the way to the left side of the field. Completes another pass. High completion percentage despite the losses back-to-back against the Toronto Argonauts. That one goes again to Tyson Philpott.
Been noticing away from the play, Derek Wigan for this Calgary defense just being a game wrecker up front and really making it tough for teams offensively to run the ball in between the tackles. Micah Alway is part of that too. Leads the CFL in tackles with 91. Don't be surprised to see him at 100. No Trey Roberson. Julian Charles will play corner. Moxie plays Roberson's spot. Charles in for Moxie.
Big 2nd and 5 here early on for the Alouettes with pressure on. Checking it down over the middle. That's a big hit. Ball is loose. There's a flag up as well. And was that Micah Awe right in the middle of the mess? It was.
Number 17, Paul Speaker.
He and Cameron Judge closing quickly to that over the middle throw. What a season for Micah Awe. I mean, he 6th year in the Canadian Football League, but he comes in and early on he was a real striker and actually got into some penalty problems with it, but his game has evolved to just a pure tackler. Now don't get me wrong, he still brings it when he hits you, but I think they're discussing if this was a legal hit or not.
Yeah, might be in trouble if that is crown of the helmet. Awe wandering around. To your point, though, one of the more cerebral players in the Canadian Football League. You'd never know it from his early days when he was just running around and hammering people, but he is really
involved. A grade 2 spearing. Calgary, number 57. We're going to go up 25 yards from where the penalty occurred. It's going to be first down for Montreal.
Yeah, difficult for Alouette. I mean, you know, he's closing on this quickly. You know, the one thing that he does, though, just before impact is duck on Spiker here is to duck his chin. He ducks down and leads with the crown of his helmet. In other words, if for young tacklers trying to figure it out, bow your neck a little bit more, bend the knees a little bit more, keep your face so you see what you're tackling, and that's the mistake that Alouette made, cause drew the penalty flag.
Well, for the Alouettes, second best in the CFL explosive passing plays. That one doesn't count, but that is a 36-yard gain. It all helps for an offense trying to get into the end zone and finish drives they've had some challenges with, as Fajardo hands it off here once again on first down in a really fast first quarter with these two teams using the ground game a little bit.
Well, they really got to get, I heard the panel talk about it before the game, they really got to get William Stanback going. I mean, it's been a weird season for Stanback. I know some injuries and come back from last year and things, but I mean, this is a perennial 1,000-yard guy, a guy that last couple of years we've been saying arguably the best running back in the game, him and Andrew Harris over the last few.
8-yard gain. We'll go back to Stanback here on 2nd and 2 as he picks up the first down on the field that he, of course, sustained that major injury very, very early on in week 1 last year on the road.
Yeah, and you know, when you look at his totals at this point in the season, you know, they played 13 games. He comes into the game this afternoon at 587 and a 5-yard average. He set the bar so high.
Yeah.
When you set the bar that high, everybody, including the guys in the booth, are going, come on now.
Just one touchdown.
Let's see the hammer come back.
Both fullbacks in the game here, David Dallaire and Vinny Tuck. They'll throw out of it, and they do get it back into the hands of Stanback, diving his way forward. That's his 22nd catch of the season, as he's looking for the end zone to add on to that season tally, as we are scoreless through 15 minutes of play. Two desperate teams here in week 16 on the front end of a doubleheader. Come on back for CFL on TSN when we return. Been a field position battle, and that's why the Micah Alouette 25-yard penalty plays so large into this drive right now.
Yeah, and it was just, you know, it's a split-second decision by Alouette. It wasn't a dirty hit by any stretch, but it's a very different. I'll show you the example. If I tackle and get low with my head up and I see what I'm tackling, we're both safer. If I drop my chin and I hit with the crown of my helmet, and again, split second, and the target area will move because the player's being tackled. So not a dirty hit by Alouette, but it's got this drive alive here for the Montreal Alouettes. Very important to start this second quarter.
And the tough one that we're discussing in the break is when the target suddenly drops.
Yeah.
It makes it even harder on a defensive player. Nothing intentional, but certainly a big play as they flip directions here on the field. And Montreal playing from the 41 of Calgary as they go back to Stanback. Good running room this time, and he charges his way all the way inside the 30. It's a gain of 11, and Stanback in a nice rhythm here to start the second.
1,048 in 19, 1,176 in 21, and this is what I remember about when he's on his game. He's got that low pad level. Look at his shoulder pads, how they're leading as he's running. He's saying, bring on the contact.
Yeah. Love the description from Micah Alouette this week where he said, I love playing against Stanback. He's got old school physicality and new school juice. Seeing that juice right there as this time they go back to the old school physicality, and that's Stampeders front, credited by Dave Dickinson for being leaders throughout a difficult season so far here in Calgary. Make the stop.
Well, this is a great matchup. You know, a perennial all-star in the East, William Stanback, against Micah Alouette, who's having a fantastic season at middle linebacker, poised to hit the 100 defensive tackle mark probably here this afternoon. Let's watch this game inside the game.
2nd and 8 after the gain of 2. Fajardo slings it out, completed. It is Austin Mack. Had thoughts of running away into the end zone. But Mack rolling over, slow up onto his feet and trying to hobble his way back to the sideline.
Yeah, it looked like he's going to run this quick slant against a three-deep zone where you see Julian Charles backing off to protect against the deep ball. It looked like Charles just rolled on the back of his legs. He was tackling him here.
He's play of the drive. Yeah, you see that right ankle get folded up underneath. So the training staff taking a look at one of the CFL's best receivers in Austin Mack. Meanwhile, Fajardo and the Alouettes offense carry on, and they'll carry it with William Stanback inside the 10. Train is on the tracks here this afternoon in Calgary.
Yeah, big drive here to get in plus territory in the red zone and give it to the Hammer. Haven't been able to say that this year because it's been a season that Stanback wants to build on quickly here as they get into this playoff race.
It's up to 39 yards already on the afternoon here to begin the second quarter. They'll check in Cole Speaker and Jesurin Antwi. No Walter Fletcher today in the lineup, just the two backs. But they'll spread it out. Calgary shows pressure. Fajardo backpedals there. Underneath, crossing road. Tyler Sneed looking for his 6th touchdown of the year. Wrapped up and brought down. Nice play, Brad Muhammad.
See where they mark this, Marsh, because I'm wondering they can get the first down without scoring here. Looks like it'll be just a yard. A full yard, however. Yeah, you're right. Full blitz off the edge coming. That's Dozier, and crossing route. A yard short of the sticks. Plus territory again. We'll see if Calgary can shut them out of points a second time.
Caleb Evans into the ball game here. The Alouettes rank 8th in the CFL in score zone touchdown percentage. Like to just get a fresh set of downs and give themselves a shot here and made to the end zone. Evans rolls over the top. Touchdown, Alouettes.
Boy, that right side folded. You know who they bring in there on the short yardage play is Armando Sewell. And, you know, at 300, 6'1", 300, he's one of the guys that from the right side of that old line where Evans goes, he just folds it down and pushes that line of scrimmage back to the stripe.
Evans, after a 10-play, 99-yard drive, helped by that 25-yard penalty at the end of the first quarter against Calgary middle linebacker Micah Awe. First on the board as Cote knocks through the extra point. Caleb Evans.
Micah Awe is often the guy for Calgary that'll make the stop on short yardage, but Armando Sewell gets to him before he can get to Caleb Evans. Just a big defensive tackle. They list him at 299. I'm going to roll it up to 300. And he gets on Awe, and Evans gets in the end zone.
Would you like to round up and make a donation today, Mr. Suter? Yes, I would. 300 for Mondo. As Tommy Lee Lewis will return this one from inside his own 5-yard line. Got some running room here for the Stampeders. And out across the 30. Lucky that one wasn't bigger as we go down to Farhan Lalchi for the first time this afternoon with more on the return of Sean Lemon to Calgary. Farhan?
Yeah, guys, Sean Lemon takes to this field with 97 career sacks. He's had 5 in 8 games since coming to Montreal, the most of any Alouettes player during that time. And his goal for this game is to get to 100. That means he needs 3 sacks this afternoon, something he's done just 1 time in his career previously. That was in 2021. In Edmonton. Now, he just turned 35. He had a renaissance season a year ago in Calgary. And the interesting part there is right after he signed with the Alouettes, the Stampeders lost James Vaughters. You know, if the timing had been different, he would have wound up coming here and they would have circled back to Lemon. So defensive coordinator Noel Thorpe is going to make it easy for him. He's going to give Lemon a bit of free rein here. Whatever matchup he likes across that defensive line, he's able to take it when they're all lined up in those up positions. So they're going to make it easy for him. Any chance he can get to that 3, and he knows if he gets to 100, it could be ultimately his ticket to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, amazing career that he's had, and I love the idea of saying, you know what, when we go to that +1 pressure where everybody's lined up, just go wherever you want.
Yeah, you decide, and that's cutting them loose. A little kind of an example of that last night in Edmonton. Great BC Lion game plan.
Oh, an incomplete pass here as they flipped it forward to Mark and Michelle.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, Marshall, I know you probably feel the same way. I'm voting for him in the Hall of Fame immediately. I don't have a vote, but I'm saying if I did, he's going in. Already has an interception this afternoon, his second on the season there. There's the 14 quarterback sack season that Farhan just mentioned from a year ago in Calgary. But lots of tools in that toolbox when it comes to rush end technique.
And already an interception in this ball game as well as Mayer brought down in the backfield, flying off the edge. There's that Wesley Sutton weak side pressure flying in. It'll be his second sack of the season for 37.
Coming off the edge again, and they're overloading the edge on the outside tackle, basically saying that they are going to outflank the Calgary Stampeders offensively, and if the back steps over, and Dedrick Mills did, there's going to be two coming off that edge, not just one. So he's got to take the inside. That's most dangerous, and Sutton is the free man.
Brace sends this one away. Wobbling kick hangs up in the McMahon wing. 43-yard punt, and Worthy turned around immediately. Nowhere to go. That's Charlie Power making the special teams tackle. His 11th special teams tackle. It's the 7th time in his career he's gotten to double digits as Micah Awe getting set for another opportunity on defense here as the Alouettes offense staring down 57 throughout the afternoon. The balance right now. Micah Awe, tackling machine, jumping in free agency here as part of the Calgary Stampeders. Alex Singleton is the mark at 123, but a heck of a season right now from Awe.
Yeah, really just getting it done. One tackle so far this afternoon. A real leader in that group.
Sixth back of the mark set by Darnell Sankey when he was with Calgary back in 2021 as Sankey watches on right now from the Montreal sideline. Little ISO route. Oh, Austin Mack drops that one. The rare drop from Mack. Is good to see him back on the field after getting his ankle rolled up on. But for Micah Awe, spent the bye week back down at Texas Tech watching them beat up on Tarleton State. Was sitting in a suite with the athletic director from Texas Tech, just talking shop, just being an alumni, and he is a cerebral guy that has a lot of different interests, very successful in business, and it's all business on the field with him as he tries to get the crowd into it here. Fajardo against a four-man rush, completes underneath, pulls Speaker, makes the grab. And tackle made on the play, Cam Judge, after a gain of 6, but it'll be third down, and the punting unit will come out for Montreal as Judge kind of shaking it off.
Yeah, it looked like he got a bit of a stinger, but a good tackle. And this is outstanding linebacking core for this game this afternoon. You got Cameron Judge. We've talked about Mike Awe, and Brandon Dozier is going to move into that Sam spot. So get a chance to maybe get some field position here for Calgary's offense.
Then Tommy Lewis back to return. Zima stands at his own 21-yard line. Nice wide side kick this time. Lewis catches it in the air after a 49-yard punt. And a big special teams tackle by Jake Hardy. Down the field making the play. Jake Mayer on field when we return. Find his game on the fly. Let's go down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, Marshall, 3 very good games for Jake coming into this one. Over 900 yards passing, almost 70% completion, 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, including what he had today. And whenever I've talked to him about his ups and downs in his career thus far, he always says, it's just part of my story. And I asked him why he views it that way, part of a larger story. And he says, for him, it started going back to his high school days where he lost a lot of football games. Had just one scholarship offer coming out of high school back east. He didn't like it, so moved to a junior college, eventually got the opportunity at UC Davis, and he just feels that he's had a lot of adversity in his career, so when there is struggle, he always believes he's going to come through it and persevere and push through. That's just how he views himself, so he looks at it in terms of a story, a bigger picture. So I said, if your story were to become a movie, who would play you? And he said, well, hopefully someone cool with a lot more style and personality than I have.
That's where every single person goes, yeah, Tom Hanks. Yeah, Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Well, you know, he has been playing very well in the last 3 games. Again, only 1 win to show for it, but the explosions are up, his interceptions are down, and touchdowns up.
Loss of 6 on first down with the screen. This time over the top, feathering it in. Big hit by Darnell Sankey, but Markin Michel holds onto it. Full value on a 25-yard gain.
Wow, nice throw there. And this is what I mean about him just basically Markin Michel up at the top of your screen, and he's going to look at how he threads the needle here. Look at all the defenders circling that route by Markin Michel, including, as you mentioned, Darnell Sankey. Another pure tackler playing in the middle. That was a great throw.
2nd and 7+. Stampeders dead last in the league. How about converting 2nd and 16 into traffic? As they'll have to play 2nd and long again here unless the ball was out. The Alouettes are pointing, saying it's their possession. Sean Lemon is the one who's holding it right now.
Boy, 2 outstanding middle linebackers in this game.
Yeah.
Sankey over 100 tackles for Saskatchewan back in his season with the Riders in 22. 120 defensive tackles. That set a Rider mark. Talk about pure tacklers. Him and Awe worth the price of admission.
They'll say that runner was down before the ball popped out. Sean Lemon thought he had his 2nd turnover of the day here in his return to Calgary, but instead it's 2nd and 11. 4-man rush. Mayer steps up, checks down underneath. Carey gets the first down. There's a flag down in the backfield as well. Gain of 12 for now.
And that's right in the holding area. Or
roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Montreal, number 35.
Or that.
It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. It's an automatic first down.
When the flag comes out back in the pocket where the quarterback is, and that flag goes out there, it's either a low hit or a roughing the passer shot. You can see it clearly there. So, yeah, you can't do that.
The emotion of Jake Mayer going, come on! Oh, you guys got it? Here, can I help you? How fast it changes once you realized it was out. This time, that Montreal defense up front getting a hold of Kadeem Carey. Great job by the Owls front 4 with a little bit of help from the linebacking core once again.
Yeah, there is, and one of the reasons that it's happening and they're containing, and you saw a couple of hits on Jake Mayer as well, is they're bringing some secondary help into the line of scrimmage. Darnell Sankey is hugging the line. He's stepping up from the linebacking core, but they brought Wesley Sutton up a couple of times, I've noticed. And, you know, you keep bringing your DBs closer to the line of scrimmage, you can throw it in behind them.
Sean Lemon standing up here on 2nd and long, top of the defensive line. Heads towards Mayer, who gets it away. It's Beggleton, yards after the catch. On 2nd and 11 after they convert 2nd and 16 on this drive, finding a way to go off script, and this one another gain of 16.
Well, this is his thing. I mean, Beggleton's having a big year, and boy, if they had to lean on him as a veteran. This time it was to claw off the edge along with, I believe it was Cordell Rogers who came out a quarter blitz, and Jake Mayer, you see the safety, Jake Mayer recognizes it, and some heavy lifting by Beggleton.
Beggleton now 45 yards away from 1,000. It would be the 2nd time he'd do it in his career. They'll flip it out underneath the fullback, William Longwood, inside the 5, punched out of bounds. Gain of 12 on the play, but it'll be a goal-to-go situation here. As Longleg rarely used out of the backfield as we've hit the 3-minute warning. Ball fake to Carey, flip it out to the fullback, and the Stampeders a chance to equalize at the end of the first half when we return.
Not water, coffee.
Cheers.
Coffee.
It's a long night.
Special coffees.
We'll see you at the half.
Yeah, couple coffees. Good idea.
Patty, bring in the juice for you back in studio. Looking forward to seeing the halftime breakdown in just a couple minutes. But right now, Jake Mayer looking at inside handoff. Kadeem Carey gets stacked up and a tackle for loss flying into the backfield. Lawal Uguak.
Yeah, Uguak whacked him right in the backfield. What a play by the defensive end in the rotation when Sean Lemon's not in there. There's big 96 spotlights on him, and watch him just penetrate and get in the backfield before Kadeem Carey can get started.
Alouettes' 7th overall pick this past May, making a big play here in week 16. Mayer with another chance. Play action, flips it out, complete. It's Beggleton, turns north south. Touchdown Stampeders.
See the direction that Jake Mayer is looking. Beggleton's coming out this way. He wants to see if there's a guy trailing him, and it's a man look, which it usually is inside the 10-yard line. He sees the trail, so he knows he's going to have leverage on the outside. Give it to Beggleton, just little point guard type of feed to number 84, and he finds the end zone. Big second down conversion for Reggie Beggleton, and then the touchdown.
9 plays, 74 yards. Extra point is good from Reddy Paredes. 5 minutes, 36 seconds, and knotted up at 7 now as Beggleton takes the team lead with 4 touchdowns on the season. You mentioned it earlier, Suits. They've had to lean on him, and it's the veteran expertise of knowing where the end zone is.
Exactly, and you see when he gets out there in the flat, now the guy that's trying to cover him is so far behind. I believe it was Seontae Evans trying to get over there from the far side of the field, and he just gets caught in the wash. Has to bubble deep. That gives Beggleton that soft spot to hit the end zone.
And it looks easy at the end of the drive where you get it to Beggleton in space, you make the right call, but 2nd and 16, 2nd and 11, like that has not been the strength of the Stampeders this season. That's why they've got 4 wins right now and sitting in 4th in the West Division. They haven't been able to convert enough of those, but man, those are some great plays.
Beggleton should be closing into his 1,000 yards. 25th money catch, which by far leads the Calgary Stampeders. And I say money catch, second down conversion catch for Reggie Beggleton.
Reddy Paredes sends it away. Hangs up in the wind once again. Bit of a gust here at McMahon as Worthy chases it down. Now gets around the corner. Kobe Williams tries to turn him back inside. He does, but Worthy all the way to the 45-yard line. And good field position here, well above their starting field position average for the Alouettes and Cody Fajardo.
Yeah, that's always such a big part of trying to steal back a little momentum after a score is a nice return, and we've got so many talented returners in this league. Can just turn it on a dime.
Fajardo begins with Hale and Julian Grant. To the bottom of your screen, haven't said his name yet today. Standout Canadian from St. FX. They'll flip it underneath. It goes to Tyson Philpott. Ran plenty of those little jet sweeps with the Calgary Dinos. And a solid gain on first down here for Philpott.
Good gain on first down, and good to see Austin Mack back in the lineup, back in the field after he limped off earlier. He did come on Cody's last drive as well, so we saw him in the last couple of plays there and starting this drive. So good to see him back.
Max got 5 games of 100+ receiving yards. The rest of the Alouettes receivers have a combined 2. Huge part of their passing attack. See if they go to him here. Fajardo loads it up. Deep ball over the top. There's KJG, and this one Cody just didn't have the belief that Julian Grant was going to break free over the top and bailed out at the last second.
Yeah, you know, it looked like it may have slipped out of his hand. I mean, it didn't come out of his hand very well, and Cody Fajardo sort of looked down immediately. Take a look at the throw here, because it looked like he had protection so he could step up. Maybe just lost the handle a little bit. It fell way short. Here's a nice angle for you. No, doesn't look like it flipped out of his hand or twisted in his hand at all. He just... Cameron Judge said that was terrible.
See you play quarterback, Judge. Tommy Lee Lewis tracking this one down. It rolls into the end zone. And a 68-yard punt that Lewis can't track down. Back-to-back 2-and-outs for the Montreal offense here at the end of the first half. Coming in, they're tied with BC for best in the entire CFL. Only going 2-and-out on 31% of their possessions. So haven't seen much of that for them, but struck them down a little bit here at the end of the first half.
You never know what's been said in that. You know, like, clearly that wasn't a very good throw from Cody Fajardo, but I'd give anything to know what Cameron Judge turned and said to him. You know, right here he throws it, he goes, oh man, and Cam Judge said, what was that? And he goes, yeah, no.
In my former life as a quarterback, it's usually, hey, it's over this way, buddy.
Yeah.
Little west.
Little short there, sir.
Inside handoff here, it goes to Kadeem Carey. Nice run through 2 tacklers that time, one of which was Darnell Sankey, and a gain of 14 as the Stampeders offense clicking here at the end of the second quarter.
Well, that Edmonton game, sorry, Marshall, that Edmonton game that they just finished playing, he was 14 to 77 yards. I think that's the time this year that we've seen Kadeem Carey back and looking like Kadeem Carey again.
Go quickly here, now go hard count. Montreal shows blitz, and Mayer is going to check at the line.
Adjustments being made already.
Bye week, lots of film on the Alouettes. Back-to-back games against the Argos. You know Calgary was watching. Here Mayer loads it up, and it is incomplete. Dangerously thrown. Closest player that time was Deontay Ruff in the corner flying in.
Intended target was Bagleton, but it didn't look like he was looking to. It was almost like Jake Mayer threw it short. Bagleton was here and he threw it here, and Bagleton kind of ran through the route. But there was showing blitz. Clearly there was a, see how he kept on his wheel route.
Long developing route. The Stampeders, a lot of success on second down today. Flag up here, incomplete. As another flag out at the end of the play, Antoine Dequoy.
Well, clearly Noel Thorpe is decided that
Offside, Montreal number 96. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still going to be second down.
Noel Thorpe has decided that in these second down situations, especially second and long, he's going to send pressure, and a lot of the pressure is coming from the secondary. I see Wesley Sutton on the line of scrimmage a ton. Now second and medium, likely a different story, but on those second and longs, they want to put the pressure on Mayer. Screen draw, hot routes, right?
2nd and 5. Mayer reads it, inside handoff, runs into a wall right there. Tyrese Beverett trying to stick Kadeem Carey short of the sticks.
Well, maybe 2 yards here. They're going to punt it away.
Big fill that time from the linebacker, Tyrese Beverett. Comes into the game with 63 tackles and leading the team with 12 special teams tackles as well. This one, booming kick. Maybe too much. Unless you want to go and get that single back. Cody Grace gets out the pitch and wedge and takes a little hop to the right. And hey, look, we're tied again at 8.
Tied again at 8, but time on the clock for Fajardo to maybe get to field goal range.
Matty back in studio with Jim Barker. Dunnigan and Naylor ready to break this one down for you. Tee up a little bit of the back end of our doubleheader. Montreal trying to hold off the suddenly surging Hamilton Tiger Cats. Hamilton on the road at BMO coming up after this one against the Argonauts. Fajardo, quick game underneath. Tyler Sneed makes the grab, knifes across the 50, and that'll be enough for a first down. On first down.
Tempo O going quickly on the line of scrimmage. There's Sneed. Sit down. New set.
Fajardo again looks over the middle into a tighter window this time, and Sneed holds on to that. Different route, same result. Tyler Sneed, first down Alouettes, moving quickly.
Yeah, this is where Fajardo can go to Cam Judge, who's trying to drop under that throw, and say, how about that one? Well, how'd you feel about that throw? Throws it right in the window in between Cameron Judge and Alway.
If Alway doesn't cut his fingernails, he's got an interception on that one. And this time Fajardo keeps, rolls to the right. I think he wanted Austin Mack to give him a little something different there, Suits, but incomplete.
Yeah, a couple of receivers in the same area, which is a mistake up for the offense. You don't want to bring draw coverage to each other. 65-yard wide field. You want to use all of it. There's the two of them, Mack and Sneed. Let's see when they come out of the a little bit of a jam there from Moxie. That may have disrupted a little bit. See how tight they are and close they are there? That's an issue. Draws coverage.
Top two receivers on the year for the Alouettes working in tandem. Pressure look here from the Stampeders on second and 10. Fajardo, deep drop, spins out to his left. Looks to the wide side, hangs it up, and it will be incomplete.
Nick Taylor is playing safety, and the safety was coming on the blitz, and Antwi, number 20, is going to pick this blitz up just to give Cody Fajardo a chance right in the A-gap right here. Big block by Antwi. That gives him a chance. He rolls to his left and just can't get enough on that to Philpott.
This one coming for Cote. About 45.5 away. Steps into it and knocks it through after the field goal blocked at the end of week 15 for the Alouettes to give the Toronto Argonauts the East Division regular season title. Cote back on the field and back on the score sheet here as Jason Moss gets a look with Davis Alexander, the third string quarterback.
Well, one thing we haven't seen from really either offense, seen a couple of shots from Cody Fajardo, that one that wasn't the great pass, but Jake Mayer hasn't really stretched it out, you know, tried to take a deep shot just to plant a seed that if you keep blitzing and you're Noel Thorpe and you keep blitzing, they're going to go one-on-one to one of their guys down the sideline, see if they can win a jump ball.
See how aggressive Calgary is here with 27 seconds remaining in the half. Quick drop, completed. It is Begelton, adding once again to his efforts on today's 7th catch of the first half.
So there's a minute left. The Owls go down and put a field goal on the board, and there's still time for Calgary to match it. Another 15 yards, and they're in field goal range.
Especially with Rene Paredes, who's got a long this year of 53, although there is a bit of a drifting wind into his face. Tough throw by Jake Mayer that time. Couldn't follow through as he had an offensive lineman in his way, but still completes it to Hakanavanu.
Now you got to be quick. Now you got to be efficient here. You get one play in before field goal time.
And Major whistles it in. Paredes waiting to see if he'll get an opportunity. Montreal only sends 3. Mayer looks at the check down. Coverage is right there by Avery Williams as he tried to flip it out. Incomplete. And now what do you do, Suits?
Yeah, you're at 6 seconds, so you basically could probably kill the clock here on third down. A play that they practice to take the snap, drop back. I think it's out of range for Paredes, but drop back, eat up the time, and then just throw it out of bounds and go in at halftime and regroup.
Beretta is leading the CFL in points scored with 142, but he wasn't hitting from this during warm-up, so they'll keep Mayer out, who completes it underneath. And it'll be nice on the stat sheet. Oh, they have 1 second on the clock.
Wow, they do.
Did they pull that off with 6 seconds remaining? They did. I spoke too soon. 5 seconds. Snap, completion, get down. And Mayer's even looking around going, did we just
Did it just happen?
Did we just do that?
Well, Mark and Michelle was surprised too. He got up and looked and went, okay, we got a second to get the field goal team out here. Well, take a look at the clock up in the right-hand corner. And you go 5, 4, 3, throw on time, get down. Heads up play by Michelle to get down and give him 1 second. That's big.
Deepest average on the season in the CFL is Rene Paredes for attempts and makes, but he'll miss this one. Rushed out last second, kicked into the end zone, and it's returned out of the end zone. And that is how the first half will end. Montreal 11-8 over the Calgary Stampeders, as Paredes, making 89% of his kicks on the season, misses that one that would have tied it up once again going into the half. A big play early on in this game by Sean Lemon. As Montreal will get the football here to begin the second half, and it was the Stampeders' choice as they're choosing to take the win in the fourth. They will kick it off here, and Montreal gets first touch in the second half, just like they did in the first. Chandler Worthy returns this one across the 30 and pushed out of bounds right there. As we get an opportunity to see Cody Fajardo come back out on the field. Another high completion percentage first half for Fajardo.
Yeah, 10 of 15, 106 yards passing, and got off to a pretty good start. That second quarter, nice drive down where he got William Stanback involved, and there was some good balance. They lost Austin Mack for a few plays, but he did return. That was maybe his best throw of the first half.
Windows got tighter and tighter as that second quarter went on, and Fajardo kept throwing into him with accuracy. They'll begin here with a handoff to William Stanback. Bounces across the 40. And those jump cuts, like you said in the first half, Suits, that's when you know he's running.
Big game for both of these teams. This is a monster half when you think about the playoff quest for these teams. Yep. Both with Hamilton closing in. They play after us in Toronto. Hamilton closing the gap and getting there and tying up with Montreal for second. You look at Calgary with a chance to get 2 points behind the Saskatchewan Roughriders for third in the division. Team that is struggling as well. I mean, this is a monster half for both these teams.
Gotta have it. Stanback knows and knifes for the first down markers. You hear the Montreal sideline excited after a gain of 7 here, but yeah, he's going to factor big into this one, trying to control the tempo.
Yeah, control the tempo, keep the crowd out of it, and keep moving the chains, and keep Jake Mayer on the sideline.
See Jason Moss, speaking of the Argonauts in the playoff chase, he said he actually showed the Alouettes the celebration from last year's blocked field goal in the Grey Cup and the celebration at the end of last week's loss to Toronto. That they celebrate the same. That's what he wants his team to do, have something to celebrate. Big hit! Micah Awe, right in your kitchen.
Hello, 5'7". He knows what's on the line here. He knows what this game and this second half is all about. And he'll tell you that stats are one thing, but winning is what matters. And this is winning football when you sniff out the screen and you step up and make that hit. And watch the head up this time. Tackles with the face mask first. No penalty.
That pops as it's late September. Fajardo looks to throw, and it's intercepted! Going the other way. Is that Nick Stats? It is the Canadian. We thought there'd be a dino on the other side. Tyson Philpott making the big plays. The backup at corner, drafted in the 6th round in 2019. Nick Stats flies out. Dives in front of Sneed and makes the play. Stamps ball.
Get a chance. There's Nick Stats to stare down the quarterback. Now watch as Cody Fajardo, as he turns and he stares down his receiver. He's looking hard to that direction. Stats up in the left corner says, well, I'm not even going to backpedal. I'm coming downhill on this one and steal that curl. Big play for Calgary.
Looking like Nate Boscheman, third-year DB, had 3 interceptions right here in McMahon last night for the University of Calgary Dinos. Pick 6 in that one is Begelton falls in another grab, just playing against zone. Just sit him down and making play after play.
Another look at that pick for Nick Stats. Just playing with confidence. Look at Cody. He's staring down his receiver, and against a zone defense, all the DBs are looking right at the quarterback and reading that look.
And you can tell how much his teammates love having Nick Stats fly around and make plays. The young Canadian Reggie Begelton now 20 yards away from 1,000. Mayer zips this one complete to Begelton once again. It'll be enough for a first down as he crawls closer to 1,000.
Yeah, you know, when I look at a couple of plays like that, Noel Thorpe gets anxious. I think he's the type of coach that just hates the nickel and diamond stuff. And when he does, they cover him up so no one sees the signal, and he usually dials up blitz.
Sean Lemon, hands on the hips right now, looking to the sideline. Late call in from Noel Thorpe as this Montreal defense gets set. Handoff, Carey going right behind William Longley. Marc-Antoine Dequoy, the free safety, is the one that has to make the tackle, but Carey running away from that front seven.
Kadeem Carey in the first half, 7 carries for 52 yards, and you know, they're bringing in the fullback in Longley to help out in the blocking scheme, and he certainly does. He kicked out Wesley Sutton there, but man, Kadeem Carey's running hard. I'm a little surprised he hasn't had more touches.
Stampeders last in the CFL in explosive runs this season, just 3 of 20 plus. That's the 4th carry for Kadeem of 10 plus in this ball game alone. I'll flip it out to the speedster Tommy Lee Lewis trying to make men miss, and Darnell Sankey says, "Stop dancing."
Little play action this time to Carey. Little fake there. That draws Darnell Sankey to Carey and then tries to get him outside. Some nice block into the point of attack for a good gain on first down.
Leaves 2nd and 4 here for the Stampeders.
Where's Begelton?
Yeah. Begelton motions to the top of the screen. Suits has got him there, flying back across the formation. He'll hand it off to Carey. And did he get there? Depends on the spot. Looks short.
Remember the Begelton touchdown? It was a very similar looking play where Begelton shot across the line of scrimmage. This time they go the opposite direction, so try to pull the attention of the defense to go one way with Begelton and then go back to Carey the opposite direction.
Stevens checks into the ball game. Backup quarterback. 3rd and short coming into today. Stampeders 15 of 17, converting on 88% of 3rd and short. No stopping that.
Yeah, he is a load, isn't he? Middle linebackers, they don't mind it, but you get a one-on-one with the DB and it's a different story.
Yeah. Stevens, job well done, heads back to the sideline after the interception. Calgary looking to cash in. Just 51 points off turnovers so far this season, 7th in the CFL. Can add to that tally if they can get a major here. 1st and 10 from the 11. Mayer looks to his right, gets it out complete. Cutting back, it's Trey Williams-Dukes, driving the legs, 3 tacklers right there, still can't bring him down. As Stubblefield and Ruffin finally whistles blow, and it'll be a gain of 5.
2nd down. This is blitz time, especially backed up on your own end. That throw brought Odom's Dukes just a little bit back, about 3 or 4 yards back away from where they wanted to be.
Yeah, this play feels like what Dave Dickinson mentioned this week. We just need guys to make plays. When we need them, go make a play. Jake Mayer flips it out. Can Beggleton make the play? Cuts back, stays on his feet. Doesn't get to the end zone, but you expect down this far, will they send out Paredes or Stevens?
Went to the well one more time on that same play with Beggleton going across the formation. Kadeem Carey going the opposite direction. This time the fake to Carey and right out there, but Beverett saw it. He's seen it now twice. Once it went for a touchdown, once it went for a good game with Kadeem Carey, and that time they stopped it.
Late substitution, Hakanavanu out, Tommy Lee Lewis in. It's too far to send in the short yardage unit with Tommy Stevens, although he thought he was going to be checking in. He almost ran off the sideline as soon as the tackle was made on Beggleton.
Interesting.
3rd and 3 from the Montreal 4.
I may take the points here.
There, deep drop, looks into the end zone, into traffic. Marc-Antoine Ducroix picks off Mayer on 3rd down. Montreal avoids disaster, and after Nick Stats got the interception for the Stampeders, a fellow Canadian gets his own pick. Marc-Antoine Ducroix in the end zone, his 4th of the year. Takes the team lead for the Alouettes. Easy money. And the Alouettes have possession.
Middle of the field, this is Marc-Antoine Ducroix, who's dropping back, just really robbing any inside cut, whether it's a dig route, whether it's a post route. The end zone's only so deep, it's 20 yards deep, but he just sat on this, read the throwing motion, and steps in front of it. Huge play for Montreal, take points off the board.
Mayer now in the season, 15 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. As he's got 2 today through the early one to a dropping out Sean Lemon, and Marc-Antoine Ducroix, as you say, just sitting in the middle of the field and saying, come this direction and see what happens.
Well, that could be 14 points. Think back to the first half, and Matt Dunnigan talked about it at halftime, where Sean Lemon makes the interception just outside of the red zone on Jake Mayer, where he drops from the D line. Now Marc-Antoine Ducroix in his own end zone. I mean, we're talking about 14 points gone, evaporated.
Fajardo hard count, Stamps show pressure. Will they send it? 5-man pressure, protected. Fajardo steps up, looks to run. And on 2nd down and long, Fajardo says, I'll do it myself. 1st down, Alouettes.
Now he can still get it done. Comes to running. This was a real calling card for Cody Fajardo early in his career. You know, I know people forget over the last couple of years, but this is a quarterback who led the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Nice run lane there. Led the Saskatchewan Roughriders to a couple of West Finals. Didn't get to the Cup.
This time he'll turn around and hand it off to Stanback as Calgary feels like they knew that one was coming and how much Montreal values having a healthy Stanback in the lineup, but that's only a gain of 2.
Yeah, and sometimes Jason Moss can run that same sort of look to Stanback and then have Cody pull it and bootleg out. What Brett Monson might do to try and stop that. Not a lot of blitz so far, just straight 4-man pressure from Calgary, from what I can see.
And on 2nd and 8, Nick Stats just checked back into the ball game here as Mike Rose goes to the sideline. Team leader with 8 sacks. Off the field is number 8, who has the interception, comes on. Fajardo down the middle of the field, complete. And they'll convert once again. Doing it the hard way the last 4 plays. Austin Mack, 1st down.
Again, you know, as a receiver at this level, you're not always running as fast as you can run. Sometimes you're just weaving your way through a defense to find that soft spot. Play from the shoulders up on that one for 81.
Austin Mack looks no worse for wear from the ankle injury in the first half. As now they'll empty Stanback out, fake the cadence, and then back in with Dallaire and Stanback. Fajardo, open man down the field. Catch inside the 5. Tyson Philpott wants the touchdown. They'll spot him down at the 1. He knows his way around McMahon Stadium, and he walked that one so badly.
Nice little route from Philpott to just lean to the inside and then take it straight down the field. Philpott's the wide out. He's going to watch how he leans inside, takes a look like he's running an inside route, and then gets in behind Julian Charles. Back home, he thought he was in, just short.
Kobe Williams saves the day for now. Caleb Evans already has a rushing touchdown in this ball game. He's back in for Fajardo. Short yardage team, plunge to the right-hand side. Touchdown Alouettes as they extend their lead in a do-or-die game, what feels like for the Calgary Stampeders.
Cody Fajardo slung him. Remember that throw that was about 3 yards short where Cameron Judge had something to say? You know Cody Fajardo wanted to come back and throw a very similar deep ball. Here's the touchdown. Again, Armando Sewell at tight end. He takes the left side, or yeah, the defensive left side of that line and pushes it back into the end zone.
Armando's on these short yardage touchdowns for Caleb Evans. He's making the left side of the defense end up in the middle. Yeah, exactly. There is no left side. 6 plays, 80 yards in 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Marc-Antoine Ducroix takes a 3rd and 3 from the 4-yard line, picks it off, takes it the other way, and it's Tyson Philpott all the way down to the 6-inch mark.
14-point swing.
Kobe Williams bringing him down before Caleb Evans adds the major. Argos Ticats coming up after this one, Rats, as they kick it off down to Tommy Lee Lewis. Big kick goes off the uprights. He just kicked a field goal on a kickoff.
You don't get 3 points for that. No. But wow, there is a pretty strong wind down there.
It is drifting. Well, Tyson Philpott, the big play, said he loves coming back to Calgary. Farhan Lalju with more on his return.
Really of both Philpott brothers, but hamstring injuries have kind of become a family thing because Jalen, who plays for Calgary, is out for this entire year because he had surgery on his hamstring for a training incident that was suffered this offseason. So they're now 2 years into this, and they haven't faced each other yet. Last year was a season opener on this field. They didn't play. They're not playing tonight. Both of them were here last night. I was with them for the Dinos game, and you can tell they're comfortable here. Jalen and Tyson's calling him out and says, look, we need to get him out here right now.
Yeah, they'd love to have them both on the field. It's over 1,000 yards. Speaking of great receivers being comfortable at McMahon Stadium, Reggie Begelton crosses the 1K mark for the 2nd time in his career. Last time, 2019, right here in Calgary.
Well, he's having an all-star season. He's in the top of the league as far as receivers go. Austin Mack, we've got 2 of the top 5 here in Reggie Begelton and Mack for Montreal. And he knows the urgency now, try to bail out an interesting decision to not take the points and throw the pick down there that turned into a 14-point swing.
Inside handoff going nowhere. Montreal defense all over it. Lual Uguak into the backfield, tackle for loss once again for the Owls' 1st-round pick.
But yeah, real sense of urgency now for Calgary. They want to, I'm going to say bailout. I know how tempting it is when, you're on the 4-yard line, 3rd down, feel pretty good about your team's drive all the way to that point to go for it. But as I mentioned before the snap, so not second-guessing decisions. Take the points there.
Montreal sends pressure. Mayer throws into it. Open man. Trey Dukes catches it at the 35. Touch back against Deontay Evans all the way down to the 23-yard line.
Odoms Dukes runs a real nice route to just take his time and be patient. He's that inside receiver, and just take a look and track him on that nice, easy post route into the middle. And Jake Mayer retreated to throw that away from the pressure.
Mayer looks to throw again. This time into a shorter window. Big hit Driving down low was Marc-Antoine Duquois. Dave Dickinson flew off the sideline angry about the location of the hit. They'll call it a completed catch, though, and move the sticks.
Now, Colton Hunchak with that big catch over the middle. And you could tell this offense understands what's at stake here. They're fighting for their playoff lives, the Calgary said. Well, both these teams are. But more so Calgary. That looks like a clean catch.
Colton Hunchak catching that one down low, just his 4th catch of the season. Stamps right back where they were when Mayer threw the interception to Marc-Antoine Duquois. This one batted down and nearly a 3rd interception. That's the end of the 3rd quarter, and that would have been the 1st career interception for Lawal Uguak. His impact all over this football game. The Stampeders, dearly in need of a victory here at home. They'll go to the 4th quarter trailing by 10 as Montreal tries to break their 4-game losing streak. Red zone opportunities. Montreal has not been effective throughout the year. They're 2 for 2 here in this ball game. Calgary, they've got to find a way to not just have turnovers or miss opportunities. Just were they supposed to take the points? Were they? I mean, there's some questionable decisions here.
Well, the 2 point, yeah, I mean, take the points with the field goal opportunity that they had to tie the game. That turned into a 14-point swing because there was potential to score a major there. But those 2 turnovers really took points off the board for the Calgary Stampeders because they were in plus territory, deep in Montreal's zone. So, you know, a team that really has to finish these drives is close, and you know, maybe the key to it is a little more 35. Now it's 2nd and long, so you might not see him here, but Kadeem Carey is running the ball in chunks here, and it seems like when they get down inside the 20, they forget about that.
Averaging 7 yards per carry here this afternoon as we begin the 4th quarter with a 2nd and 10 from the Montreal 11. Eerily similar to the opposite end of the field earlier on. Mayer with the wind at his back. Pressure on. Down he goes. Sean Lemon.
He got one. He's got 14:37 to get 2 more and get to 100. Talk about tools in the toolbox. Look at that stance. That's a stance you don't often see. Good power rush off the edge. Starts with just that great low pad level, push back, and then swim back inside. And the quickness to not allow Jake Mayer to escape wide. A 9-yard loss for Calgary.
Big play by Sean Lemon, and timely as well. Once again, deep down inside the score zone as Rennie Paredes comes out to tag some points on the board here. There's Tyson Philpott, University of Calgary. I asked Jason Moss about this. What do you think of both the Philpott brothers coming out in the draft? He said they were the most CFL pro-ready receivers because of plays like these, just running all over this field.
Yeah, that's why he's so comfortable here. And we just saw the big play, but you know, getting him going over the last 2 games is huge for this team. I mean, you have the leading receiver in Austin Mack. You add Philpott to that mix. Taylor Sneed is playing well also, and now all of a sudden your receiving core gets way more balance and is dangerous.
Fajardo looking Philpott's way before the snap. Goes to Keon Julian Grant on the quick screen here. As he gets pushed to the outside, flag comes up. And Fajardo walking backwards.
Montreal number 61. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll replay 1st down.
McCloster, the right tackle, gets called here. Julian Grant had a nice, and there's another guy that potentially could really be beneficial moving into the playoff run.
Still looking for his first touchdown of the season is Julian Grant. Some work to do before he gets there as they'll empty it out for Fajardo on 1st and long. Gets back a decent chunk, little curl route underneath as we get a look at Tyson Philpott and Jason Moss on the appreciation he has for number 6.
he can get it anywhere. I mean, that kid's so talented. I mean, you can throw it to him short, intermediate, or long. I think every receiver will tell you they need to get in the flow of the game right away. And they're better when the ball's in their hand early. But for Tyson, I think you get it behind the line of scrimmage, a short intermediate throw or deep throw. He's looking to make something happen every single time he touches the ball.
And consistently trying to find him as this time Fajardo goes to Tyson. Incomplete. Flag comes up late. And what is this? Could it extend the drive?
Illegal contact on the receiver. Calgary number 0.
Wow.
It's a 10-yard penalty. Makes it a first down for Montreal.
Wow, Kobe Williams.
The juggling of the secondary has been a challenge for the Calgary Stampeders all year. He's getting the one-on-one here, or at least off the line of scrimmage with Austin Mack, and you can see the contact well beyond 5 yards.
It extends the drive for Montreal, nearing midfield. Fajardo hands it off. Stanback sticks that left foot in the ground, puts his head down, and Nick Taylor came down from free safety. Trying to get in on Stanback, but size mismatch on that one. Pretty obvious at the point of impact.
Well, this is one that, you know, is not necessarily in the rules, but is an interesting dynamic, because remember the hit from Awe where he got penalized for dropping his chin and leading with the crown of his helmet? Well, you know, running backs occasionally do it too, but there's never a penalty called, and that was William Stanback dropping the chin.
Stanback again here on 2nd and short. Knifes his way. Thought he could have stayed on his feet and had even more. But it's a gain of 5 and a first down for Montreal.
Key yards, because it churns up the clock. Gets a new set of downs. Gets the linebackers thinking hard about 31. And not getting as deep in their pass drops.
Running back coach Tyrell Sutton there laughing as he came off the side. It looked like he said, yeah, you were close. You might break one. Stanback's got the longest carry of the CFL season. Any player, 69 yards. They'll watch from the sideline here as Jeswin Antwi checks in. Fake the run, quick throw outside. Snead breaks a tackle from Kobe Williams, and then Moxie wraps them up as they push the pile, and it's across the first down marker. The Alouettes move the chains again. Still no whistles.
Well, as long as you're still gaining yards, and Snead was still gaining yards, he's not a big guy. I mean, this is 5'7", 180, but he plays big on this play, taking a pile with him, although he had some help from his friends. Some big boys behind him driving that pile as well.
Nick Dallender's offseason with the sled paying off right there, helping out Snead. Montreal. Quick throw outside, get it to Antwi in space. He puts his head down and gets about 5 yards on the gain.
Very physical game at this point, because both teams understand the stakes. Montreal has not lost a game when they win the turnover battle. 4-0 this year.
Calgary just 1-7 on the season when trailing after 3 quarters of play. Some work to do here. One-score game. Montreal checking at the line. The fullback Tuck is in with Stanback. 4 receivers to the top of your screen. Fajardo barely got the hold of it. Flipped it out to Mack, and he'll be short.
But field goal range real important here for Montreal to add to the lead, make it a 2-possession game.
Jason Moss, end of a drive, regroups. Kicking unit comes out here. David Cote. And they'll whistle this one dead.
Time count violation, Montreal number 15. It's a 5-yard penalty. will replay third down.
I think they whistled it in because the line stayed out. The kicking unit was late onto the field here. It was a bit of an awkward substitution. So
yeah, I was wondering what the sort of meeting was going on in front of the Montreal bench. It's a pretty easy decision, I think, for Coach Moss to make it a two-possession game. I mean, there was no chance he was going to go for it on third down there, but they were in a lengthy meeting with the field goal team. And maybe it's a personnel issue and they didn't have enough guys on the field. They got one taking a knee now because he's got to go out for 3 plays.
yeah, that looks like it is Nick Callender. And so McGloster, who just had the penalty go against him, trots off the sideline.
Timer, please put 8 minutes 48. 8:48 on the clock. Thank you.
As they work through things with Callender, we'll step aside. 7-point lead for the Alouettes. To kick this one after the time count violation from 35 yards away. Joseph Zima is the holder. Gets it down and nearly got into the backfield as they rolled up on Cote. A huge collision in the backfield as well. Diving across, it looks like it was Moxie and Julian Charles. Calgary sat that whole break on field. Welcome back. Lots going on during the break here. Is Dave
After
Dickinson.
the successful field goal, there's 2 penalties. 10-yard penalty misconduct against Montreal 36. 15-yard penalty misconduct against Calgary 91. We're going to go back 5. It's going to be first down for Calgary at the 35-yard line.
Well, good on Ben Major for not ejecting Isaac Berglund. Might have been unintentional, but he gets popped here at the end of the play, unnecessarily trying to get into it after Joseph Zima took the first penalty and Major not happy about it.
Yeah, he's lucky he's still in the game, Eddie Berglund.
Looked like Major was just more frustrated with the fact he was trying to tell him to go back to his sideline, and Adiemi Berglund wasn't listening. So Calgary offensive possession. Jake Mayer checks it down underneath. And it is. Big hit at the end of the play, flying in from Cordell Rogers, but Mills churning the legs there and getting a gain. Nowhere else to go. Gain of 6.
Pocket collapses on Mayer and just dumps it out. See a little bit of Dedrick Mills, although the more successful running back today has been Kadeem Carey.
Stampeders 10 of 18 right now on second down. They've had worse down and distances than this. Can they convert it? Oh, he might have had the first down, but I think Colton Hunchek caught that one and ran the wrong direction.
If he is short, it'll be inches, and there's no question. They're bringing Tommy Stevens out right away. There's a soft spot. How many times do you see that?
Montreal would love to get off the field here somehow, but Tommy Stevens ain't having any of that. Now he'll run away. Crosses the 50. 8 different receivers for Jake Mayer here in this ball game, and Tommy Stevens gets a gain of 7.
I saw earlier in the game where Reggie Bagleton tried to run against the blitz, tried to run a good second effort here by Tommy Stevens, but tried to run that wheel route. And remember, with that out and up, didn't get a chance to throw it because the pressure was in Jake Mayer's face. But I'm wondering if they go back to that when they need it most. Right now, down 2.
Pressure look from Montreal. Mayer loads it up outside, jump ball. Hakanavanu, 1-on-1. He got it. Now are they going to call it against Hakanavanu?
There was a push. Deontay Ruffin feels like he got the call here. Former Calgary Stampeder, of course.
Offensive pass interference. Calgary, number 81. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll replay first down.
Yeah, Hakanavanu is just going to have his hands in the back. Now, you can be sort of measuring up. You see how Ruffin is doing the same thing. He's got his hands around his waist, kind of measuring him up, but there was a push in the back. that moved Ruffin a couple of yards right when the ball was arriving.
Got my eyes during that replay on Dave Dickinson. No motion to the challenge flag. He'll let it stand. First and long. Can Mayer get a piece of it back? He can. Reggie Begelton, ball's out. Rolling on the turf, and Montreal's got it. Who else? Tyrese Beverett. He seems to make every play for this Montreal defense. We'll see who punched it out, but Beverett on top of it, and Montreal gets another turnover. Who else? Marc-Antoine Ducroix. Add a forced fumble to the All-Star resume for 24. Pacific only right here on TSN. Marc-Antoine Ducroix saying, yeah, I almost busted up my finger. I punched that ball out so hard. Montreal gets possession back. Tyrese Beverett gets on top of it. The Montreal Caravan alumni making big plays here in the fourth quarter, and the whole game has already got the interception in this ball game.
Pick that took points off the board. He's got 6 tackles. That gives him 47 defensive tackles on the season. Yeah, having a year.
See what Cody Fajardo and the offense can do with it. One-on-one on the outside. Skip it into the ankles of Austin Mack. Moxie looking at the sideline saying, I know when you leave him one-on-one, you're coming my way.
Yeah, and Fajardo wants it back. Well, his mechanics were just all over the map on that throw, and the result was a one-hopper.
Calgary's going to heat him up. Goes hard count, so he sees it. Speaker, extra blocker for Fajardo. Still has to get rid of it quickly. Goes to the outside. It's Sneed in space. Philpott gives him a block. First down, Alouettes.
Deep in the pocket throw for Cody Fajardo. A little surprised they've thrown it 2 times when they've got a 2-possession lead and there's 5 minutes left. Calgary's going to call their timeout. We see how deep in the pocket he is. Then he flips it out here. Nice block by Philpott right there on Moxie. That gains him an extra 10.
Sneed adds to his total on the day. Playing a big role as Speaker and Philpott talk it over, and Jason Moss trying to sort out how to close this one out. Why not just keep burning the clock? He's always going to be aggressive, but he always says, no matter what, you get down in this end of the field, you have to finish with points, some form of points, and that would be big for them here.
Well, I would suggest that guy right there gets the ball a couple times here. Just a thought. You keep grinding the clock. He's been running well. Stand back tonight. Looking at 71 yards, closing in on a 100-yard game.
Nick Taylor surveying.
Timer, please reset the clock to 5:18, please. 5 minutes, 18 seconds.
And Jason Moss's message to the Alouettes this week after they knew they would not be hosting the East Final. He said, so what, we're not hosting. You still got plenty to play for. Trying to set the tone for a playoff run as Calgary again looks to show pressure. Fajardo, quick throw outside. Mack catches it. Gets across the 35. Bounces off a tackle attempt. Up to the 30 and a gain of 11.
This is why Jason Moss is calling the plays he's calling, because the Calgary Stampeders think that they're going to run in this case, and look at what they're doing to the line of scrimmage. They're saying, okay, if you're going to try and completely stop the run and even bring DBs down, you saw Kobe Williams there too. We're gonna throw it outside. You put 8 in the box, we'll throw it outside to our #1 guy.
Brent Monson trying to find solutions here. Montreal driving, clock rolling, Calgary trailing. Out to stand back this time. Little swing screen. Blockers out in front. 31 rolling his way down to the 20.
This is sort of glorified, you know, like almost a run play, but an extended run play. load the box. This time they go with a conventional defense, just four rushers, but that works either way. If you're dropping in zone, you get some space for your tailback. If they load the box with 8 or 9, you get them outside as an extended running play, almost like a toss sweep.
Standbacks having fun today as Caleb Evans checks in. Wonder if they'll go for the dagger here on 2nd and short, try and do something different than the short yardage sneak, or will they just play it by the book? Straight forward goes Evans.
Yeah, that short yardage play plays that.
Timeout, Calgary. This is their last team timeout.
And Dave Dickinson has to throw his challenge flag out because he doesn't have any more. You have to have a timeout to challenge. Got that timeout called before the warning.
Equipment manager, legend George Hopkins, Johnny on the spot to go say to Dave, hey, I need that red thing.
Now the Calgary defense, at the end of the day,
Timer, please reset the claim clock to 3 minutes 39. 3:39, please.
Well, what they've got to do is tackle the football now, take some chances and try and rip it out, create a fumble.
Yep.
But also, a field goal still keeps it a 2 possession. I know you need 2 majors to come back, but it still keeps it 2 possession. And how many times have we seen in the final 3 minutes of a game 2 possessions evaporate?
Austin Mack lined up in a sprinter stance here as he gets the waggle. Fajardo hands it off the other way to Standback, cutting his way inside the 10. Yeah, it looks like it might be enough for the first down once again as Montreal's ground attack behind Pierre-Olivier Lestage on that left-hand side, moving bodies here in the 4th.
Yeah, and a major ends it, basically, from Montreal. There's a whole bunch of fans in Saskatchewan enjoying this one.
Lone receiver to the top of your screen is Austin Mack. He's one-on-one. He's calling for it, rubbing his gloves together. 4 receivers the other side. Pressure from Calgary. Fajardo looks to throw. Gets it out to Speaker. Cuts his way to the 5-yard line. Playing the numbers game that time, keeping the clock rolling, but he's hit the 3-minute warning. Montreal up by 10, trying to close this one out and snap the 4-game losing streak. Tunnel, by the way, that you walk down when you're the visitor here at McMahon Stadium, the same tunnel you walk out of when you're a University of Calgary Dino. That's where the head bob is coming from. Feels right at home, and of course making big plays all the way down to the... He wanted this touchdown so bad. Look at the guy in the background here. He used to love Tyson when he played for UFC. No way!
No way!
No way! He doesn't want to give him the touchdown. Next play, Caleb Evans punches it in. That is your Coors Light moment of chill. But Tyson enjoying being back here as he splits his way out to the wide side with Fajardo and the Alouettes after the 3-minute warning. Trying to close this one out. Nearly hit Austin Mack on the snap. Now fading back. It's a screen back to Standback. Touchdown, Alouettes!
Wow, there was just some malfunction at the junction there because this was just trying to survive the motion. Watch this motion that almost ends up in a collision for Montreal right there, and then Fajardo just keeps the play alive by retreating on it enough for his tailback, William Standback, to get out there and present a target for him.
8 plays, 60 yards, and 341. That was an adventure for Standback Suits. He bumps into Austin Mack. He bumps into Philippe Gagnon, who was in at the right guard spot. Somehow weaves his way out of there, and Fajardo did well to sift through all the traffic. And got hit by more Alouettes than Stampeders on this play.
Well, this is just Fajardo not panicking with the situation. He bails on the play action because that wasn't going to work. There was that bump and roll in the middle there. D-line tracking him down. But Stanback slips out of the pocket, beats the tackle attempt by Nick Taylor, and Fajardo goes, yep, that should be enough. Big win for Montreal. Holding off the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They'll play right after us against Toronto. Can Toronto keep their streak alive and win a 12th game of the season?
This football right here, King and Charlie feel like they're home. King, you can play with this one when we get to the crib, all right? For sure, because I know you're ready looking at it.
Awesome to have him back having success in Calgary after getting injured in week 1 last year.
Take me back to Quebec, man. Come on, baby. Let's go.
Wants to get back to family, sounds like, and drop that football off.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yes, sir.
This score very similar as Cody and Caleb Evans having some fun on the sideline to the score of the matchup as Julian Charles making his way off the field really slowly. That's unfortunate to see as he shakes his head. But the frustrating loss at BMO Field a couple weeks ago for the Alouettes against Toronto, and Jason Moss said the game this past week where they lost on the blocked field goal at the end, much more indicative of what he believed his team is. And this certainly looks like a playoff-worthy team in the Montreal Alouettes.
First of all, Stanback looks like he's back. And, you know, big game for him, not just running it, but that big catch out of the backfield to seal the deal with the major. You know, that's huge. And you get Philpott now back-to-back games, almost 200 yards. Now he's added to make that receiving core that much more dangerous with the number 1 guy in Austin Mack in the group. I mean, yeah, the rubber's meeting the road right now in the playoff hunt. And
here's Dave Dickinson on the playoff chase and some of the struggles this season. As you see, trying to find a way back into this. But they are up against it at this point.
10-13 after going 30-6 for Dave Dickinson and this Stamps team at home, and a team that's made the playoffs 17 straight years in a row. And that in jeopardy of not happening this year. Still time, and they're not out. This didn't eliminate anybody. But was a game that Calgary really needed to close the gap on Saskatchewan and look at that 3rd spot in the West.
Each of Calgary's last 4 games have been within 8 points. It doesn't look like this one is going to fit that narrative, but certainly a play here and a play there.
Well, there was turning points.
Yeah.
I mean, there were serious TSN turning points. Sean Lemon's interception in plus territory in the very first series. Turning point.
Mayer looks to throw on first down, steps forward, thought about throwing, pumps, now he's going to try to use his legs and gets 5, fooled everybody that time as the Montreal sideline saying, why didn't we hit him?
Duquois' interception.
Yes.
Taking points off the board from the 4-yard line. Huge turning point. The big play to Philpott, that's another one. And I'm going to add the decision by Dave Dickinson to not take 3 points and go for it on 3rd down on the 4.
This one complete underneath. A couple of big interceptions in this ball game that turned the tide.
Well, you know, I had just said about Jake Mayer's start to this game in the first series that he looked really sharp and on top of his game. I mean, his feet looked good. He was delivering strikes. And then he got down and threw that pick to Sean Lemon. And then in the second half, again down on the 4, 3rd down, that was the decision by Coach Dickinson not to tie the game. It was 11-8 at that point, and Calgary's been outscored 17-3 since then.
Big Mayer stayed in that time to pick up the spot as Tommy Stevens stayed on the sideline. From the 55, Calgary just trying to find some answers, shoveling it backhanded that time to carry incomplete. But where does Calgary go from here, Suits?
Well, Calgary's, you know, they got to play. They're going to Hamilton, so they've got an Eastern trip coming up next. They've got Saskatchewan after that. I mean, that's going to be, you got to get the Hamilton game if you're thinking, if you're Calgary right now, you've got to get that one, and then and then take Saskatchewan, go head-to-head with them, because that's the team you got to beat. There's the architect, John Huffnagel.
He watches on as a hard count here. Draws flags, incomplete. But for Huffnagel, not many seasons he's seen where you're this late in the charge.
Offside, Montreal number 9. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay second down.
Jamal Davis II has the flag. It'll be 2nd down and 5, but not many times that he's seen this team in red and white, whether it be working as head coach, general manager, now president and football consultant, basically overseeing everything they do, where they've had losses like this late in the year. We saw that early on in this ball game, just how many times they've surged when they crossed the Labor Day mark.
The other thing, you know, when you look at Calgary's game here tonight, or today, is Kadeem Carey had 10 touches.
There, taking a home run shot. Odoms Dukes over the top. Knocked away. Marc-Antoine Ducroix takes points off the board.
Just outstanding season for 24. I mean, it doesn't matter if they bring him up, and sometimes he'll play in the box and become a robber. He's making tackles in the run game. And how about that knockdown over the top? Pass defended. Mission accomplished.
I'm with you, by the way, on the pass defended versus knockdown.
Just saying.
Defensive backs versus defensive line. I could not agree more.
It's not new. I mean, down south they do.
But I think that's worthy of an alteration there to give guys like Ducroix some credit, as Mayer brought down Sean Lemon.
Ooh, got 2.
Well, he's got 2 and an interception. Yeah, but a fumble recovery, does that count?
Well, it's a big game. It's another big game. It's another big game for Sean Lemon, and you know, he told Farhan that he was looking to get 3 to get to 100. Just the quickness off the edge is been his calling card. He's got the power to drive you back, but you see how he pulls with the right hand and just pulls that shoulder enough to get you off balance as a tackle, and he goes around the corner. So many different moves. Just a pure pass rusher.
We're not worthy. We said it.
Come on.
Okay, Skyro, what up?
Does Renanche gets the carry here, bouncing his way down that left side, but yeah, first-year CFLer out of Sacramento State, Brandon Weldon can't deal with that man here today.
What's I guess surprising, and we've talked about this before with Sean Lemon.
99.
After the play, we have a 10-yard misconduct penalty. Montreal 68. It's going to be second down. The 10 yards are applied from the end of the play.
Part of it is because Sean Lemon, you know, was becoming a free agent and he wanted to get paid. So there's that part of the decision. However, if you're a team that's had him before, how do you let him go? I mean, just
Aaliyah, love you. You're working.
Took a while to get him signed.
Out of the league for the first chunk of this season. Everybody wondering when and where he'd come back. It's been Montreal, and it has been a success. Second down, the Alouettes content to hand this one off and get set to send it away.
Big game coming up. Big game coming up. The Battle of the QEW, which is probably tons of traffic on it right now.
There's always tons of traffic on that thing. I live on the 401. Anywhere there. But anybody who makes the trip to BMO will be rewarded with a good one tonight. Hamilton, Toronto coming up after this. As they let the clock burn down. And Montreal will take time before sending out
timeout.
Kicking team.
Montreal.
As the kicking team comes out, I want to give a special shout out here. Kicker Maya Turner from the Manitoba Bisons.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about Canada West today. U Sports football in all its glory, bouncing around the country right now. Maya Turner for the Manitoba Bisons.
Please put 55 seconds on the clock. Thank you.
First female to record a point in a regular season U Sports football game today for the Bisons in their game against the Regina Rams. Congratulations to Maya. Fantastic accomplishment. As they'll kick this one away, Zima just slings it off the right boot down to the 5. Tommy Lee Lewis dancing, and Jake Hardy gets his second special teams tackle of the ball game. Another former Dino.
Good hustle down the field on the teams. We often and always talk about the great returners in the league, but the opposite side of that, to try and contain these returners of the special team players, and good tackle on the open field. The other thing I wanted to mention tonight is Cody Fajardo put together a very good game. 22 of 29, 252. He did throw the one pick, but that was a great play by Stats. And
after the play, we have a 10-yard misconduct penalty. Montreal 98. It's going to be first down for Calgary.
And Montreal did not give up a sack in this one this afternoon. So, I mean, this was an issue that the pressure was getting to Cody Fajardo. They had given up 50 sacks, which was not the worst in the season in the league all season.
Yeah, he's taking 43. Look at him smiling down there. That's why he's saying, I didn't get hit today.
The video official has corrected the spot. It's first down on the 26-yard line.
And Tommy Stevens is in at quarterback for the Stampeders, as they'll salt this one away and go back and watch the film and try to climb their way back into the West Division playoff race, as Mills running hard as ever.
Yeah, and I think people will say, well, you know, what's going on with Calgary? As you mentioned, like, where do they go and what's up with this team? I mean, a team that beat Toronto, the only team this year to beat Toronto. You know, Jake Mayer was okay today. You know, his last 3 games were excellent. He only won one of those. This team only won one of those. You know, I think the juggling in the secondary has led to some inconsistencies back there for them. They again made some changes. Dave Dickinson did not play Trey Roberson. Now there might be an injury situation there too. We'll see how that transpires over the next week or so. But move the newcomer Julian Charles in there, and that's been a real mixed bag. But again, if you could pick out a couple things, one decision to not take the tie and the field goal, and it's a little bit more Kadeem Carey may have helped this team.
Stevens hands it off once again. Mills gets a first down. Learn the rock hard, and it won't be enough. Losing streak is over for the Montreal Alouettes. And the Calgary Stampeders have fallen 28-11 at home as Sean Lemon and Tyson Philpott, the rest of the Alouettes, plenty to celebrate here in Calgary as they're back in the win column. Jake Mayer, not a bad day, but Cody Fajardo able to win the battle. Third victory against the Calgary Stampeders. As Dave Dickinson and Calgary in tough right now, 4th spot in the West Division, and certainly work to do to get their way back into this. For Glenn Suter, Farhan Lalji, I'm Marshall Ferguson. Thanks for watching.